My name is Megan, and I want to do a series of videos of topics in relation to my VSG journey. Okay, so this is my first video in regards to the topic, and I wanted to come online and I wanted to make these videos to be a source of information for those who may be interested in it and they don't have anywhere to turn, or they don't know where to start, or may not know anybody personally to ask questions about it. So VSG, for those of you who may not know, is also known as gastric sleeve. It's a weight loss surgery, and I had my surgery done on October 1st, 2020, and it was amazing. I'm so glad I did it. The interesting part about my journey is that I actually had my surgery in Mexico. Okay, what led to me having my procedure in Mexico? Well, I started the process for gastric sleeve in 2019, and I was going to go through my insurance at work, and then I ended up pausing the process because I took a different job in a different state with my company, took on a different role, and so it wasn't a good time for me to have to go out for about a month, which is how much I needed, or felt like I needed to recover. Some people may need more, some people may need less, but long story short, that's how I ended up putting it on pause. So fast forward to 2020, and when I reached out to my insurance, they no longer covered the procedure. So it became an out-of-pocket expense for me. So then I started looking at my options, and then I ran across Elias Ortiz and Company, which is the facility owned by the surgeon who did my procedure in Mexico. Awesome. Everything was perfect. Went out without a hitch. And so I just want to shout out my doctor, because I would go back 10 times over. But being that my procedure was out of pocket, so that's what led to me going to Mexico. That surgery would have run me probably close to 20 grand in the United States, maybe more, between surgery, anesthesia, the whole shebang, meds, all that, maybe. And I think it can get expensive. So the procedure total in Mexico cost me about $5,000. I would do it again. Okay, $5,000 well spent. Now, in regards to where I started with the process, once I knew I was going to be having my procedure in Mexico, of course, having a passport was a necessity in order to gain access to another country. You know, you have to have a passport, right? So I went ahead and initiated that process. I got my passport back very quickly, and then I needed to schedule a surgery date so that I could book my ticket, right? Now, in order to even get scheduled or approved for surgery, I reached out to a coordinator, and then I had to submit like background questions in regards to my health. Did I have any pre-existing conditions or any other surgeries that I may have had before? And so I did that. That was similar to any questions that you would ask if you were going to a physician for the first time in the United States. So I sent that packet in, and then I got an approval the next day from my coordinator, which was Sheila. So after that, I think that's when I scheduled my date. And so October 1st was the date I chose. Until then, I booked my plane ticket. Now, what happens when you actually get off the plane? Okay, so I want to note, you don't actually fly in to Mexico. I flew into San Diego, and then someone from the facility actually came across the border to pick me along with my companion that I took, because a companion is included in your surgery fee. So you can actually take someone with you without an additional charge. They just have to buy their plane ticket. That was a major plus for me. So nonetheless, they came to San Diego to pick me and my companion up, and there was also about 6 or 7 other people there that were having their surgery, and they also had companions. Most of them had companions as well. So we all got on the van, and then we drove about 30 to 35 minutes across the border to the facility, right? Now, when we got there, I did a CT scan. That was because of COVID. They wanted to check and make sure my lungs were okay, along with everybody else that was there for COVID. And then we did an EKG along with blood work. Everything was fine. That next day, after landing to San Diego, then going across the border, doing my medical work that had to be done that night, that next day was surgery. Okay. So when I got the IV, I knew it was real. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got my IV, and then I waited a little bit and then the anesthesiologist and the doctor, they came in, introduced themselves. I'd say about 20 minutes later or so, I was in the operating room. And I just remember making a joke, and I was like, make sure you put a little bit of tequila in that IV, just like, because I was in Mexico, whatever. But everybody was so nice. My procedure was fast. Now, let me say this. Having VSG is, it can be done laparoscopically, whatever. So what that is they don't have to cut you completely open. They can actually make small incisions and still do what they need to do. And then they end up removing your stomach through one of those incisions. I have a total of 5 incisions, which I may show on a later video. They're completely healed up now. I think I was completely healed like a week and a half after surgery. I healed very quickly. And so probably in a few months you won't even be able to tell I had the procedure. That's how small the cuts were. But nonetheless, it was a fast procedure, and then I was back into my hospital room for recovery, and it was done. It was done. The hardest part for me personally, was just like, because they tell you want to walk a lot after you have the procedure, because then you could, like, the gas pains can be a little bit much. That was the most difficult part for me, but it really wasn't that hard looking back on it. I was very active after surgery, and I would get up and walk for a couple minutes, rest, get up, walk for a couple minutes, and I mean, everything just went very well for me. I'm thankful, and I would recommend anybody, if you have questions about it, research. You can reach out to me. I'm not a medical professional at all. I can only tell you what worked for me, what I did, and there's a whole bunch of stuff I skipped over, like pre-op diet and post-op diet, because I'm trying to keep the video not too trying to keep the video short. I don't want it to be too long for you guys, but all in all, I will be back to discuss more topics on it. And if you have a question about anything I said or did not say, reach out to me. I plan on documenting my journey on my Instagram page for the most part. My Instagram handle is at Vsg.travelbae.meggy. That's me. So hopefully there you'll be able to see some interesting content. This is just the beginning of my documenting, my journey. Since surgery, I have lost about 40 pounds. And I'll be a month out on the 1st of November. So that's with my pre-op. I'm sorry, not since surgery, since my pre-op diet, which was 2 weeks, which I'll touch on that on another video. But my pre-op diet was 2 weeks. So 2 weeks prior to October 1st till now, which is the 24th. I don't know, what's the date? It's not even November yet. I've lost about 40 pounds. So I highly recommend it. I would do it 10 times over. I feel great. My recovery was great. I'm getting my energy back to elevated levels higher than before I had surgery. So listen, guys, if you have questions about VSG, weight loss surgery, reach out to me, and hopefully this video was informative. Until next time, guys, peace.